Hey there everyone, Lord Frigid here with another episode of Aether Raids Offense. Today's video covers the recently completed Astra season, and I must admit that I had a reasonably good experience this time around. I messed up on a rage store trap map at the very end of the season, but oh well, I'm sure I'll survive. I actually ended up reworking my team setups a little bit after my less than stellar experience last Astra season, so a few of the teams have become more focused and are better crafted for what they're trying to accomplish. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and get into today's battles. The first map is a bit of a space oppression style setup, using Clarine to cover a lot of ground. She is then backed up primarily by Kagero, Kempf, and Reinhardt. The issue with this map is that it's very easy to prevent Clarine from receiving any follow-up. Notice that if you place a unit here, at the very bottom of her range, if your unit cannot counterattack, the other two ranged enemies will be blocked from targeting that space. Additionally, if Kempf expends his full movement range, he is highly unlikely to end up close enough to Mirabilis to receive a refresh, meaning that he won't be able to hit your bait unit either. This is a pretty simple way to get the enemies moving with negligible risk to your own units. You do need to be sure that you can handle the 4 enemies rushing toward you, but as long as you can manage that, the map should be no problem. I'm going to go ahead and send in my Gale Force setup for this battle. I will need to take a turn to get set up, which ensures that I can have the Armored Stride bonus active on Legendary Edelgard. However, that's the only reason I can't do a turn 1 initiation here, so let me move her back, and then get some stuff broken on the right-hand side. And then that should allow me to kick off the next turn by having Edelgard break the Cupcake and Tethys move below Eliwood. An Anniversary Treat, I guess, is the structure's proper name. That will force Clarine to attack Edelgard. I am fully expecting that after that, Kempf will move just up to the space above Clarine, which Mirabilis cannot refresh from. Then Kagero and Reinhardt should advance. Kagero does receive the refresh, but she can't really do anything with it. And that sets me up to actually deal with this these advancing enemies here. Unfortunately, between the panic status and debuff from Mirabilis, it looks like Edelgard can't 2HKO Clarine, but that's totally fine. I think she should be able to take out Kagero now. That gets her to activate Gale Force, so she can take on Reinhardt. That's really all she needs to do, since Eliwood is in range to take out Clarine and then get refreshed by Tethys. So let me have Edelgard take out Reinhardt. That's perfect. That's all I really needed to do. Then I can have Eliwood take on Clarine. Both their names start with E, just realizing that now somehow. And then he can receive Tethys Refresh. Unfortunately, Kempf's Venom Edge is going to affect all 3 of the Eliwood, Edelgard, and Tethys. I suppose I don't mind Tethys and Eliwood so much. Actually, Eliwood, is he? Oh wow, he's exactly below half HP. But Edelgard, I do need to make sure Mirabilis doesn't actually just kill her outright. And no, she has 13 speed, so she's not going to double. 43 attack, that's not going to kill 32 HP, not with Edelgard's defense line. So I can actually break the tactics room, and then since Eliwood's below half, I can warp Naga to him to take out the panic manner. So, after I break the anniversary structure with Altina, Mirabilis should attack Edelgard. Then we'll have to see what happens with Duma. I'm not really sure which way he's going to choose to move. Okay, looks like he went over to the left. Can Edelgard take on Mirabilis? No, she cannot. However, that's not really a problem, because Eliwood is under half HP. I can break the Aether structure, and then refresh with Tethys. Then move Edelgard, one space back, allows Naga to warp to her, and Naga can take on Mirabilis. And now I am fully expecting Duma to continue to move to the left in pursuit of Tethys. So what I'll do after Mirabilis goes down is I'll just move Eliwood out of harm's way, and then I'll have to see whether or not Naga, with her now fully charged Luna, is actually capable of landing a one-hit KO on Duma. Because if she can, then the way to finish this battle is actually quite obvious. So let's see. Let's make sure. Alright, Duma does indeed go after Tethys. So after Tethys breaks the Aether Amphore, and good, I can make sure that Naga does a one-shot. I'll move Eliwood up, and Naga can warp to him for the finisher to the map.
my flame.
Today's second map is a rally trap setup. If you try to bait Xander, either Reinhardt or Ares will jump in front of him for a rally, then get refreshed. One key thing to remember here is that if a refresher is capable of dealing at least 5 damage to an enemy, they will attack instead of refreshing. It should be possible to limit the enemy's initial assault to Reinhardt or Ares plus Xander by using a bait unit that Xander can deal at least 5 damage to. The tricky part is that you'll need to have a unit that satisfies this condition, but can also survive either Reinhardt or Ares, since it's not certain which one will provide the initial rally. Another option is to use a 2-range unit to break this block above the defensive fortress, and just leave the unit there. This will cause Ares to rally Reinhardt, burning one refresher's action. Reinhardt must then attack, but he will be the only one able to target that space. Duma or Ares will move next and may receive a refresh as well, depending on which of the two assisted Ares after he rallied Reinhardt. I would say it's best practice to assume Ares will move and get Xander to refresh, and take care not to leave anyone who cannot deal with Ares in that extended range. If you can pull this strategy off, it should make it relatively easy to clean up the enemies afterward. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and send in the Caeda raiding party here. I'm actually kind of curious to see if I get rematched by this person later in the week. I believe I've actually used the Caeda raiding party and not gotten rematched exactly one time. So I'm very curious to see what happens here. I'm going to go ahead and break this panic manner because I don't want that affecting her. And then get Caeda to safety with a couple of positions. I'll move Altina here. And actually what I need to do is I need to get Naga over next to Micaiah so I can ensure that she gets the buffs from Attack Res Oath, and then has a status effect so her Joyful Vows is active. So let me go ahead and move into position here. I will have Caeda below this breakable block. That's perfectly safe, actually, even if Ares gets a refresh and ends up attacking her, because Feather Sword will allow her to take him down, since Reinhardt is the team's party bearing user. This is going to hurt a little. Okay, actually, that's not super bad. It's kind of annoying, I'll admit, but nothing too horrible. Glimmer is going to obliterate him. well, actually, effective damage is going to obliterate him already, but Glimmer's just going to crush him even harder. So, okay, looks like Duma gets the refresh, which is not a problem. He can't even reach. And now, I mean, there's no Hardy Bearing anymore. Let me take a look at these matchups. Yeah, okay, that's not super threatening. She should be able to handle Micaiah. I don't see any reason I can't just hit and turn here, honestly. Let's see. Well, I don't want to just hit and turn, actually, now that I think about it. I do want to start going up the left-hand side so I can get to the Aether Amphore.
Yes.
So let me have Naga break the blue lion flag and Micaiah take out the Fae statue.
Let's go together.
And then after that, I think I can call that good. So let me go ahead and just bust that. Maybe move Ryoma for absolutely no good reason. I think the space I just moved into is as safe as the one he was originally in. Oh, Xander. He warps, but not a big deal. Okay, that's totally fine. And now Feather Sword should be able to activate here and just cut through poor Micaiah and Ares and Duma. Oh, I noticed that Micaiah actually hit for a 22. But interestingly enough, the combination of Micaiah and Xander would not have resulted in a KO even if Micaiah had attacked first, because without the debuff of -7 granted by Xander's weapon, she would not have had enough punch for Xander to finish the job. So I can actually break the Golden Deer flag and then have Naga warp up to Caeda, who is below half HP now. And then I believe Mirabilis should just continue chasing Micaiah. So that shouldn't be an issue, as long as she actually does. Okay, looks like she will. And also, once I break this Bright Shrine and the Dark Shrine afterward, I should probably double check. Yeah, she can KO Mirabilis, so that's not a problem either. And this should be pretty easy cleanup here. I mean, I've really only got to break the break the Aether structures and then finish off the map. So let me go ahead and play one more turn of Keep Away. And once Mirabilis moves, I can have Naga break the Aether Amphore by warping Caeda. and Caeda should be able to finish the job.
Be safe.
Today's final map may look a little familiar. It's the spitting image of a setup from 2 Astra videos ago. A cav line using a ground orders rally trap to get the seer to any unit you happen to leave exposed to the enemy cavalry. One great way to deal with a cav line is to engage multiple enemies on the first turn, if you can, to relieve the pressure of later turns. For this type of defense map, that means you'll also need to not keep the rally prioritization rules in mind, since that's the only way you'll know where their seer is going to be. Remember that the first priority level is the unit who receives the most benefit from the rally. For instance, if one of the units receives Hone Speed, they would benefit less from Rally Attack Speed Plus than the others, since they already have a speed buff. In this case, they're all equal. The next level is the unit that is closer to the enemies. If you're baiting from the second row, this will all be equal too. The next level, and likely the most important, is highest visible stat total excluding HP. So, if I were to bait both Lyn and Reinhardt, Lyn would get the rally since she has the highest stat total, even after she takes the Bright Shrine debuff. If it's still tied, the next level is the order in which the defense team's owner placed the units in the defense team slots, which you probably have no way of knowing. Fortunately, it's not very easy to build a team in such a way as to force this check, so I wouldn't be overly worried about it. I ended up baiting Lyn and Reinhardt, so let's go ahead and get into my attempt. Alrighty, I'm going to send in the Dragon Wagon against the map of Mr. I Need Wins. Unfortunately, I don't plan on giving you one if I can help it, so let's take a look. I'm going to set up for a turn 1 initiation. I'm going to have Idun, well, actually, let me get some field buffs on first, just to make sure that, also I gets the cancels effective against dragon status because she will need to fight Thracier. I am anticipating that Thraceer's rally will go to Lyn because she has the higher visible stat total between herself and Reinhardt, excluding HP, of course. So, as expected, the rally goes to her. She gets a hit with a ruse as well, unfortunately, but thanks to her duo skill, she does not take effective damage from Thracier. She actually takes a 0 and hits swings back with a 31. I put Ryoma down in the lower left corner in the hopes of trying to bait Veronica in that direction, since she should deal the most damage to him. However, I believe she is going to go off to the right. Probably, my suspicion is that she'll do that because she sees the Seer is super low HP and would benefit strongly from her recover. So, let's see. Okay, that's perfectly fine. I did not get Veronica to go that way, but I can have Idun finish off the Seer. And then in order to make sure that her Zephyr Breath remains active on the enemy phase, I will have Naga smite her up a space. She is blocked in by Leif and Lyn, which is totally fine. And now I can actually have my other units on the left-hand side start breaking structures and then advancing up towards the Aether Fountain on the left. So let me go ahead and take care of that. Definitely don't want to reposition Sothis onto that trap. So, Veronica hits for a 3. Yeah, that's very, very expected for her to attack first, since she doesn't die and doesn't take any damage. Okay, after getting the refresh, she does hit an 8, which hurts a little bit more, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Lyn, I believe, will go down to an Aether activation here, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then Leif, unfortunately for Idun, Leif cannot KO in 1 round of combat. However, she does deal enough damage to Leif such that after the burn damage from the push, he doesn't actually have it active for the 2nd round of combat, so he deals 2 zeros. Next up, let's see. Oh, she'll get a minuscule heal of 4 off of Leif, so that's fine. And now I need to make sure, I have to see how I'm going to deal with this Veronica, who can deal damage to Idun. I can't really just move Idun back a space, since Zephyr Breath wouldn't be active. So let me take another turn, see how this plays out. Try and get Sothis over here, but I'm not entirely certain. Okay, so another 8 out of Veronica. Thankfully, the first hit does deal 0, but The second hit dealing 8 is kind of annoying. It's not sustainable at all. I need to figure something out here. So let me actually break this Sprite Shrine, and I need to take a little bit of thinking time. Alright, I've given the situation some thought, and I have decided that my best course of action is to move both Idun and Naga over to the left by a single space. Then I'll actually have Sothis move over 1 space as well, and what this does is it forces Veronica to move down 3 spaces and attack Naga, because she does deal more damage. Now, also because she moves 3 spaces, Mirabilis cannot reach her to refresh, so she is going to be forced to attack Idun, and she will fall to an Aether activation here. And then I'm basically home free, because I am free to I'm free to grab the Aether Fountain up in the top left corner with Ryoma and Altina, but I can also trap Veronica in between the concert hall and 2 of my dragons. So let me go ahead and I'll take the fountain down and start progressing towards the Amphore, and then just get Veronica trapped here. So then next player phase, I should be ready to finish off the map. Let me go ahead and reposition Altina towards the structure, take it down, and let's have Sothis finish the job.
Let's sing a merry tune.
And that is it! I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raids Offense. I know I'm feeling a lot better with the team composition improvements I made. Legendary Edelgard was nice this week for Fire Season, and down the line I think I may try to get Pirate Tibarn into that slot for non-Fire weeks. I'll need to gather some trait fruits first, though, once the next update hits, since I feel he's probably less effective when he's plus speed minus attack. Next week, we are headed back into Light Season. Fortunately, Chris is out of the Arena bonus rotation, so she can quickly pivot into the Aether Raids bonus rotation. Out of the frying pan and into the fire, as they say. I hope to see you all again next week for an Aether Raids Offense video on that. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.